Hello and welcome to Packman Paranormal.
It's been a hot second.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We have not done one of these since the last time.
We had Matt Warner and who else was on? Was Steve with us last time?
I think.
Steve.
Yeah.
I don't. It's been so long. I don't remember who
been a
all
while.
we had on.
But we are back tonight. We actually got a night off from Waverly Hills, and we wanted to get on here and say hello to all our folks that we've been missing out on talking to for quite a while.
And I'm having to guide Ernie every step of the way because he hasn't brought the comments up.
Here we go. All right. I see a lot of folks that are showing up as Facebook user. You're going to have to go back in and grant StreamYard permissions so that we can see who you are.
Vicky is the only one that we can actually see the name for. So everybody else is popping up as Facebook user right now. So like Ernie said, I think there's a way when you pull up the video to click on it. It's like pretty and all you click on it and then there it is.
Yeah,
so.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have been very busy with Waverly Hills Sanatorium, hosting
every event
of the public and private events going on. But things are gonna. Hello, George. How's it going, brother?
Yeah.
Things are going to be slowing down a little bit, I think, over the next couple of weeks, and maybe we can get back to normal with the podcast. But a few weeks ago, the Paranormal United Network showed up at Waverly Hills, and one of the guests that they had brought with them was a fellow that we had known about for quite a while and followed him on Facebook and followed his career as it seems to be just going up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Jon Dougherty. And tonight we're going to bring Jon in to talk about some of his recent investigations and what he's got coming up. I know he's got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Some he can't talk about just yet.
Hello to everybody in the chat. We can't see most of your names, so we're sorry if we don't call anybody out individually.
And there's Jon. Jon the Paranormal guy.
Yeah. Formerly known on TikTok now as Jon the Paranormal guy.
Awesome. Well, how's it been going?
It's been going great. I'm so excited to be here, to be honest. I'm like, oh my God, I just met them at Waverly and I didn't know they were the tour people and now I get to be on their show. This is amazing.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're nobody special, trust me. She just, bosses me around.
I'm special. He's got smaller font than me, so he's not as special.
Okay, I'm sorry. So if anybody doesn't get that joke, I was editing the intro.
Taller.
I was editing the intro for the Waverly Hills project for the Paranormal United Network, and I had on accident made Denise's font bigger than Ernie's, and it started basically a discrepancy. So apparently I'm hot water.
Jon,
we need to keep it that way. I think it works.
Jon, you're not welcome back at Waverly ever again.
Well, it was nice knowing you guys. Have fun.
No, she had a lot of fun with that. But we had a blast those couple of nights that you guys were up there, and the activity, as it has been all this season, was off the chain for you guys. So you want to talk a little bit about what you experienced?
Oh my God, where do I begin? Like, second I walked in, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I mean, it hit you like a ton of bricks the second you walk through that building. And those who are more sensitive to the paranormal, I picked it up like that. And, but it really wasn't until I was on the private tour and we got up to the 4th stairs, and it literally took my breath away. Like, it was that strong. I ended up developing a spirit crush on my adventure with Sarah. And
she's special to everybody.
Oh, yes. I love you, Sarah. I hope you're well. So I ended up doing a session with everybody on the first floor after we had been getting nonstop activity from fifth floor, fourth floor, third floor, second floor, to the first floor, to the auxiliary morgue. And we all started sitting down, and I asked, "What is it about me that you like, Sarah? Is it the baby face?" And the REM pod just went off.
That wasn't her saying she loves your baby face. That was her laughing at you, John.
Hey, somebody over here that's coming up as Facebook user, and I'm going to say it's probably Eileen, says that's because we love Denise
Eileen.
more than
I'm
Ernie.
betting that's Eileen.
Some of y'all are
such an Eileen comment.
We're
right
still
there.
not able to see everybody. We had to redo our whole Facebook thing. I guess we hadn't been in here for a while, so a lot of you were showing up as Facebook users. So if you want to go in and accept StreamYard to give you access, then we'll be able to see your names. But
anyway,
I think he does have a baby face.
He does. He looks like he's 12.
I see my brother George in there, and I just wanted to say love you, George. And I also there's Crystal. Hey, Crystal, how are you? Crystal from the Paranormal United Network. We got a lot of our fams here, and just wanted to tell you guys, love you guys. Thank you so much for continuously supporting us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are lucky. We got a lot of some of the best people in the world are in the paranormal field, and we're lucky enough to be able to call a lot of them friends. Yep. George being one of them.
Yep. We got Ashley here, Beth. I saw Vicky up there.
Billy, yes, we are able to see you now.
Yes.
But now you have, just the week that you were at Waverly, you were reeling off a long list of places you had lined up to visit. So
I'm actually working on a 8-part series here in southeastern North Carolina in partnership with some of the historical societies and some of the local tour people here. Me and my buddy Enoch, who is a new friend of mine that I got introduced by a mutual friend. Me and him have both had producing history, and we decided to come together and create a series based off of haunted historical North Carolina, and we're eventually going to expand that to other states as well and the rest of the Southeast, and then see where it continues from there. But we got a lot of exciting stuff coming, and a big trip coming up to go to Savannah, Georgia. So that's going to be our next big thing.
It was Lisa that said that they love me more than you.
Oh,
I can see her in here.
All right. Well,
Todd is in there too.
It's about time he gets here.
Yeah,
hello, Animal and Troy.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. You had said something about getting access to some places that nobody had been before, and some really new locations.
I have a couple of plantation houses that have never been investigated before. They never have had paranormal eyes to kind of take a look at their buildings, and I was granted access to those locations through my connections here in southeastern North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and I've been working through the networks trying to and the historical societies and the various paranormal people that I know, and I finally got access to a good grip of places. I've been working on this place in Alabama now for almost 3 months, and it's a plantation house that's never been investigated. It's actually on my profile photo above. It's my cover page, and it's a drone shot of the giant plantation house that's there.
I saw that.
And I ended up capturing what sounded like a banshee-like scream radiate through the whole building. It was a disembodied voice, but we caught it on my Panasonic recorder while I was doing an EVP session, and it was like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We need to go there.
Hook us up, John.
Okay, will do.
All right.
I got it for you guys. There's another train station / train history depot. It's a historical museum as well as an old train station, and it has a long amount of history dating back to the U.S. Confederacy, and there was also a woman who died in the 50s accidentally when the train ran her over, basically. She was drunk. And so there's a lot of activity there. Plus, it's a state historical archive center. So they have Civil War, Revolutionary War, and Native American artifacts inside. That's another location that I'm actively working on right now. And it's about an hour away from that plantation house. So a lot of the locations are within a certain radius of where either my family lives or where I live. But I do travel all over the United States going investigating. I have investigated in 11 different states now, which has been an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been lucky. You are a young guy, but you've already put in some miles and been to some awesome locations in a short.
He's a young guy. He's not 65 like you are.
Last summer I did 10 locations in 10 days.
Wow.
And
that's a lot.
I had a 3-month-long paranormal hangover from it.
I believe it.
We have a Waverly hangover. I can understand. Ernie got called old the other night on a YouTube video. You got called old?
Yeah, there was a YouTube video that was. There was a YouTube video released just a week or so ago that I have to address. It was about an epic investigation. I can't think of the guy's name right now, or I'll tell you how to find it.
He hosted him.
He was talking about.
That didn't take long for me to bring it up.
He was talking about how awesome his guide was, and how the information that he was given was incredible. And he described me, in every way except he said, I guess the guy was probably in his mid-60s or something like that. And I'm like, who is this son of a bitch?
Oh, no.
I mean,
that was almost as bad as me putting Ernie's name in smaller letters than Denise's on the video.
Yeah. He's not on the show tonight, John. We might have him on soon, though, so that I can confront him on that.
I think Ernie's font could have been just a little smaller.
This is just wrong.
They could get a microscope or what's those things? Magnifying glass to see it.
Okay. We're talking to John here from the Paranormal United Network about his upcoming projects. We're going to just ignore the bullshit that you're trying to go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, John, I know you've been working on some documentaries. There's things you can't talk about. I know there's probably a few things that you can that are getting ready to come out.
Yes, definitely. We're actually working on that series, and it's slated for Roku, which is getting pretty exciting. So it goes out to a much bigger audience. It's something that we're going to be really pushing here coming soon. And I mean, on top of all that, I'm not only a paranormal investigator, I also do a lot of urban exploring. And those who don't really know what that is, it's where I find a bunch of abandoned buildings and I go basically balls out with a camera. And actually, a lot of my urban exploring trips turn out to be paranormal investigations down the road, just because of the places that I find to be like abandoned hospitals and stuff like that. So they get. I did one last year, and it got like pretty good ratings on YouTube. Like, people loved it. But on Facebook, it got like 2,000 views within like a couple of days. And it was absolutely incredible. And we got to investigate. It was actually 15 minutes from where I was living at in Georgia. And a friend of mine tipped me off about it. And she's like, it's a really cool urban explorer, but the reason I called you is because that place has some serious spirits in there. And so I'm like, okay, you got my hand tied behind my back. I'm going. And so I went and first I actually went in by myself. And I don't suggest that. Let's just put it that way. If you're new to the paranormal field, don't listen to me because I take risks that I shouldn't.
Definitely.
I ended up getting permission for this place, and we went inside. The building is actually for sale, but nobody wants it because of the activity. I'm not joking. And we ended up going inside this hospital, and it, like, nonstop, it's EVPs, like, in disembodied voices, and you're constantly turning around looking, and nobody's there. And first time I got in there by myself, I get a recording on my phone, just shooting it on my phone in 4K. And I hear, "There you go," in the halls. And I'm like, what? And so, I mean, and then I kind of kept going back and back and back with various people. And when I went with my friend from Florida to go investigate it, the lady who tipped me off, I go into the bathroom, and I'm like, and here's the bathroom. And you hear, "We want John here," in clear lettering, in clear voice, says, "We want John here." I was like, where, in the bathroom?
Sarah might get jealous.
Yeah, Sarah might get jealous.
Right? Yeah, I gotta watch out for that. She seems like the jealous type.
I think she's got a little bit of a crush on Ernie.
Really?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, why
She
did
likes guys. She loved Jeremy. She loved his beard.
Well, I mean, come on. It's Jeremy.
Right? Right?
I think she's happy that she finally feels that she's met someone that she's safe with.
Yeah.
You know, she feels safe.
Well,
Yeah.
she can also tell that you guys are actually trying to tell her story truthfully, too.
Yeah. I think so.
And spirits really respect you being able to tell their story. And a lot of what I do in the paranormal field, and I joke around a lot outside of the paranormal field and on podcasts, but when I go investigate, I take it seriously. I try to get those spirits to tell their story from their point of view. And I work through those EVPs. I do one session asking one set of questions, and then I take what EVPs I get from those questions and envelop the story from that point and ask another series of questions and kind of get it to piece it all together. And I've had some amazing success doing that.
Well, that's how we've done 12 years with Sarah.
12 years we've been doing that with Sarah's story to get to the point where we're finally able to start telling it to the public.
And other people, you know, chiming in with what they found up there too. So we've
15
got
teams.
Courtney's here right now. She sent us a bunch of stuff that they found from their investigation there that correlated with stuff we were finding. So it's always nice when you have other people that are getting the same things you are, so you have some backup.
And it's nice to have a little air of unity.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Folks aren't afraid to share evidence with one another, and you know, then that way we can all work together to tell these stories from these spirits.
Yeah.
And I mean that, you know, it's not a competition as far as I'm concerned.
Ross says we're all the 502 crew.
I like it.
We are the 502 crew.
We are all here together to help one another, and that's ultimately why a year and change ago I decided to work with Stephen in creating the Paranormal United Network, because I thought that we could develop a front where we could unite all these teams from all over the world to come in and share their stories, share their evidence, share the camaraderie of what we do in the field, instead of constantly being in competition with one another. I don't see it that way.
Todd calls us 1004 because of our tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen it as a competition. I mean, I think, you know, we're all looking for the same things. It benefits everybody if we work together, because
Well, we've been wanting to tell Sarah's story for so long, and we feel like, it's not just us standing up there talking at this point. We have other people that are telling her story too now. And, and when we tell what we have found, we're very careful to make sure everybody knows that it's based upon paranormal research, that it's not fact, that it's what we have found with our own through our own means, trial and error and so forth. But now that we got other people stepping forward, like just the other night, another woman said, "Oh yeah, I got that when I was here too." And it was the first time she'd ever met us and she'd ever heard our version. So,
yeah.
But I mean, not just with Sarah's story, which, is what, is closest to us, but I mean, there's other spirits at Waverly we're trying to tell their stories as well. And then any other location that we go, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of these people are just
one of those spirits who thought he was really funny was Creeper. I got hit straight across the board on the EVP. I said, "Who is sitting here with?" I think this was on the second floor, and you hear Creeper. And I was like, "Hey, buddy."
A couple nights ago, right?
Last night,
a guy, was it last
night?
No,
it was the night before.
Night before last, we got a guy, and tell him that story. What he did, he wasn't sure what he saw.
He came out of the building at the end of the night. I hadn't talked to him all night. He's in there investigating, and I'm just staying out of the way. At the end of the night, he came up to me and he said, "Okay, so I'm in the south stairwell, coming off of the stairwell onto the 4th floor, and I see this mask go across the floor, but it had eyes. I didn't see legs. I just saw eyes looking at me, and this mask goes across the floor." And I said, "Creeper." He said, "What?" I said, "That's the Creeper." He said, "I saw the Creeper." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I've heard of those at every location I've been to. I've never seen one. I can quit." He's like, "My life is complete. I saw a Creeper."
Because when I was investigating Waverly, I had gotten punched, and I thought it was Creeper. I was fairly mad. I was like, "Come on, Creeper, where are you? If you're going to do that, let me show yourself. Let me see where you're at." That's kind of a jerk move to do. And he didn't appear. And that's when I started to think that it might not have been Creeper who did that. And it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our resident.
Creeper like the...
Yeah, Creeper usually doesn't really touch people. He just kind of tries to be scary and play a really good game of chicken. He usually wins.
And I'm not sure that's any kind of human spirit.
Usually people run from the Creeper.
Yeah.
But we don't, but we're used to him now, and he just usually ducks off. So.
Creeper likes to play in the shadows. That's what he likes to do. He likes to mess with people and make them think they're seeing something that they're not, and he's a trickster.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, our resident asshole, for lack of a better word, that's there always tells, we have to, on our tour, we're always like, we do not have demons. And we always say that because when you pull out that EVP or that spirit box, the first thing he says is demon. We're like, no, he's not a demon. He
tries to identify himself as a demon.
Let me tell you, a demon is not going to say, "I'm a demon." Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we're like, yeah, sure, you are, whatever. So it's so funny, though, doing that all the time there. So many people come in and they're coming to look for ghosts, and then they walk in and they're scared to death the minute they come in, and the minute they see something, they run and they're ready to leave. I'm like, why are you here?
Why did you come? You know what we have here. We have.
Why are you coming to the most haunted place in the? Why are you coming to the most haunted place in the country?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's hilarious. I think it's. I just like watching the people now more so than the ghosts.
Yeah. I had such a preconceived thought of Waverly Hills and what it was going to be, and it actually was much better than what I thought it was going to be, and it was different in my entire thought process changed to that place in such a good way because of the amount of energy that I was picking up, the amount of emotion and how beautiful it was and how actually sad and communicative that those spirits were. And I felt a lot more love than anything at Waverly.
It gets in here.
Exactly.
Really. I mean, Ryan just said he could live there, right? We are living there these days. Yeah, I mean, we're there all the time, 24/7, it seems like. And I mean, we do say, oh, we're tired. Oh, we finally got a night off. But I don't think
we're not tired of Waverly.
I don't think we have it any other way, though, because I mean, the minute that they need someone extra, it's like, we'll be there. You know, it's like, it's just home.
Yeah.
And
it's just, I mean, it's a lot more comfortable place to be than what people's preconceived notion of it might be. You know, they think it's some kind of big, scary place, and it's. I guess it can be if you take it that way, but to me, there's a lot of amazing history.
It was
some sad stories.
It was a beautiful place for the people that lived there. I mean, people, I think, want to assume that it was a horrible place, but that was the place to be. People loved being there. They treated their patients very well. State-of-the-art facility, good food. I mean, everything we say on the tour. I mean, it was the place. So I guess everybody
was definitely.
think that it's horrible, but it's when you hear sanatorium, that's the first thing that pops in there.
Everybody's gonna have a different experience at any location. It's cool when I hear somebody else talk about Waverly, and they have a completely different experience than what I had, and it's just really cool to bounce off those stories, and because you get a fuller grip of what Waverly's like. And it's been a dream location for me since I started researching the paranormal 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the neighborhood, like I always say, and I'm biased, but it's by far my favorite location. I've investigated a lot of them. But I love it. It's in here with me.
Definitely
I care about the spirits there.
It has a place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And I've been going since 2009 annually, so I've many years it kept calling me back too. I was driving 2.5 hours to get there. I wasn't right around the corner, but I was there every chance I could.
Well, what are some places that are on I know you say you've been everywhere, or not everywhere, but you've been to a lot of locations. What are some places on your bucket list that you haven't been yet?
Old South Pittsburgh Hospital's on my list. I have to say Moon River's been on my list for a while, so that could be crossed off this year.
Yeah.
Trying to see. Probably what's that other jail in Tennessee? Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain.
I'm looking at possibly doing Brushy Mountain this year.
Yeah, we were going to go back and film a documentary there eventually when we get the time.
Yeah, we were supposed to go with Kendall and Vera and shoot
one there.
To be
all honest though, like my favorite locations are locations that have never been touched.
Yeah, we like those too. Fresh set of eyes. There's Stephen Woodard in here.
I love private home investigations because not only do I get to deal with the spirits and get to know them, I get to help people and get to help the families involved. And actually, right after Waverly Hills, that next morning I was at a private home investigation.
Yeah. Yeah,
and,
that was
it's been really
drive, wasn't it?
It's been 1,530 miles. 1,530 miles.
Wow.
We need to get back to
The last summer it was that's on my list this year too. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but I'm definitely aiming to try to make it there by the end of the year.
I've been there 3 or 4 times, and I love it every time. It never disappoints. My kids love it. It was to the point that my kids were like, where do you want to go on vacation? They were like, Gettysburg. They didn't care about the beach or anything. They wanted to go back to Gettysburg. My kids are weird though. They were raised by me.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it.
Right.
I'll tell you a place.
I just love old plantation houses. Old plantation houses just have such a spiritual dynamic to them, from both sides of the families and unfortunately the slaves. You build relationships with them too. So
yeah, I agree. There's a place that's not too awful far from you that is real high on our list of favorite locations. And that's Lake Shawnee Haunted Abandoned Amusement Park.
How you figure it ain't
in
too
West
far
Virginia.
from him?
It's not too awful far. It's closer than Waverly is.
This is in Florida or West Virginia?
West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll have to check that one out. I've never heard of that one.
Yes, you need to look at it. It's a good location. It's just a cool place to go, if nothing else. When we went, it was like just a big camp out, because that's what you do. You camp there, and I mean, it's just we had off the chain activity all night. We had a good time. It's out in the middle of the country where you can see all the stars in the galaxy, and I mean, it was just the whole atmosphere. I loved it, and Chris takes good care of folks down there. It's just a cool place.
Yeah. I mean, even if you don't have any paranormal experiences. What's that?
Right. Oh, I was going to say, I was going to let you finish your story real quick. Any paranormal experience? Go ahead.
That's we were just saying, even if you don't have any paranormal experiences at Lake Shawnee, it's worth just going up there and experiencing the history and the atmosphere there.
Yeah, and if nothing else, take Josh Chow with you and give him a couple bottles of strawberry wine and watch him. That was a good time right there. But no, we were recently with the show Portals to Hell. They just recently aired the episode we were part of from Lake Shawnee.
Yeah, I think we were on there for like 2 minutes nodding our head.
Yeah, we never got to say a word.
That was worth the 6-hour drive.
Yeah, yeah, we never got to say, well, we actually did talk a lot, but
on the show, we spent 2 minutes sitting there shaking our head.
Yeah, just nodding with Jack, like, hello, yeah.
I don't even think it was 2 minutes. I think it was like 30 seconds.
Whatever. But
we met Jack Osborne and got a free hotel stay.
Yeah.
And free lunch.
Yeah.
And our gas reimbursed.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Guess it wasn't so bad. Mini vacay.
Yeah. Well, I'm considering myself a TV star now.
You considered yourself a star before. Too bad your font's smaller than mine.
Hey, Rye said we look good nodding our heads.
Thanks, Rye. We'll give you an autograph next time we see you.
Next time we see maybe. I don't know. Depends.
We're actually looking at going and checking out this thing called the Vander and Mako Lights here in North Carolina. It's like an urban myth and legend of a guy who was a railroad worker, and both of them actually involved. They're in 2 different areas. One is in Southport, and one is near Fayetteville. And basically, the railroad actually connects. And so basically, what happened is he was killed by the train, and you can see this phantom train light come through. And so we're going to explore kind of that urban myth and legends and kind of find out what, if there is something, what is it? Could it be debunked? And if not, then try to come up with the reason of what it is.
Right.
So that's something that we're working on. And then I'm working right now on the setting up the investigation for this new plantation house that I found that has never been investigated by anybody. So it's going to be here in North Carolina, and it was actually, they had 3 murders on the property back in the 1870s, 1860s. and their whole family died of, like, there was a family member that died of yellow fever. There was a couple of unexplained deaths on the property. There was one of the owner's children. All of her kids died for no reason. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened at that house. There's at least 3 spirits, they say. But when I was there, I felt a lot more than that.
Wow. That's
So,
kind of location.
it's not only the main house. It's not only the main house. It actually involves all of the other houses on the property too.
The only problem I have with locations like that is they cannot be overgrown and be full of snakes, because then I cannot go.
No, this place actually has wedding venues, and it's also got like music stuff. So it's a popular place for like weddings because it's beautiful ground.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I actually just made a little video about it today.
Okay. Cool.
All right, we'll have to check that out.
We got to get some time off to.
Eileen said you forgot to send her invite.
Eileen Jones.
Eileen Jones said you forgot to send her invite on that.
Hey, anybody's welcome to come. Anybody's welcome to come up here and investigate with me. God, if you guys want to do that, just let me know, and you guys can come up and investigate.
Stephen Woodard said at least you had your 30 seconds of fame on your Portals to Hell.
Yeah, he was talking about me, not you.
Well,
you still haven't had yours.
He didn't read your. He didn't know about you on the documentary because your font was too small to read.
Lord help.
I'm actually looking at possibly going back to Mississippi sometime this year to check out the Atala County Jail and the Old South Funeral Home. That's another one on my list.
There you go.
I keep getting requested. Also looking at going back to Texas this year sometime, and then Kansas. So, I mean, there's a lot of trips planned. We're actually running a Paracon through the Paranormal United Network coming up September 24th to the 25th. It's going to be at the Masonic Temple in Salina, Kansas. So you guys definitely want to make sure that you guys sign up, because right now tickets are not that expensive. I think it's $25 for general admission. So, and it's actually at a haunted location. The 3rd floor alone can accommodate up to 1,000 people. So, wow. I mean, it's to be crazy. It's actually the same size as Waverly Hills. It's about 200,000
Beth Allen is
square
in the
feet.
chat. She's going to be speaking there. Beth Allen. She's doing something about the importance of supporting haunted locations or historic locations.
Yeah.
So,
but
you guys definitely want to check that out. It's called FearFest Paracon. We have a page up. We have a website where you can buy tickets if you guys want to do that.
All right, awesome.
All right.
I think
before we wrap it up, I'll give you a chance to give that website and everything, so folks can.
Yeah. Let
me
try to grab. I'm sure Steven could probably grab it faster than I could.
Yeah, we can. I can get on there and share the link to our page.
You could send it to Packman Paranormal. We'll be more than happy to share it out to all our different.
We'll share it out to our different platforms and so forth. Jacob Warren is wanting to know if anyone's been to the Birdcage Theater. That's your dream location.
I have not investigated that location. I love Virginia City, though. I have been there. I've been to Tonopah. I love all those areas. I'm a ghost town fanatic.
Yeah.
I
want to go to Tombstone.
If there's the word ghost town in it, Tombstone's still on my bucket list too. I have driven by Tombstone 6 times and never investigated it.
Same here.
I know it sounds crazy. They're like, John, you're an investigator and you didn't go to Tombstone? What the hell's wrong with you? I just didn't get a chance.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I want to go to the Villisca, Iowa Axe Murder House. That's on my bucket list. That's one I've always.
That's on my list too. Yep.
Well, let's do
it. My list. The Sally House. The
website's
Sally House is on my list.
I'm
The
sorry.
Sally House is high on my list. The
Yeah,
Sally
yeah,
House
Sally
is
House.
high on my list.
Yeah.
There's several that
Atchison, Kansas, with the Sally House, there's some sort of bed and breakfast or something there that's down not too far from the Sally House, and I cannot remember what it's called.
Yeah, there's like 3 locations in Atchison, aren't there? That are all good.
Let me look that up because I would like to go there too.
But
I've heard the whole town of Atchison, Kansas is haunted.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like Alton, Illinois, or something like like several towns across the country. The entire town just seems to be.
You know what my dream trip would be is to go Route 66 from Los Angeles to Chicago and investigate all these locations on the way to those 2 cities.
Yeah.
Just do
that'd
a
be awesome.
huge, giant paranormal tour.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then you could come down 31W and hit Waverly on the way home. Why not?
Yeah, Chow says we need to go back to the Ashmore Estate. Yeah, that was awesome too.
Yeah, Ashmore Estates is a great location.
Yeah.
Where's the Ashmore Estate?
That's in Illinois. It's right on the Indiana-Illinois border, about midways up the state, I guess.
Yeah.
It's in Ashmore, Illinois.
Okay.
It was really, really active too. We had a lot of. I would almost compare it to Waverly to I mean, there was full-bodied apparitions, scratching, disembodied voices. We
EVPs. It ran the gamut. We got a little bit of everything.
It was not as big as Waverly by no means, but you couldn't take a big group in there. You'd have to go with a smaller group.
Yeah.
But it was very
10 or
active.
12 people is plenty at Ashmore.
Yeah, but it was very active.
I have to admit, like, some of the actual scariest investigations I have done have been private home investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to a lot of big names. I mean, I've been to close to 200 locations in the last 7 years. And it's private home investigations that have always been on the top of my list for the least favorite places that I enjoyed investigating.
Yeah.
Because
we
they're
have
so
kind of
brutal.
shied away from doing the private investigations because we ran into a couple of
Weirdos.
Yeah.
Because
of people that were scary.
Because I let Ernie scream and I didn't step in and take charge because I trusted his word. He's not allowed to screen anybody for investigations anymore.
That's why I have a 150 question questionnaire that I send to every private home investigation people.
Yeah. I might
It's gotten
need
to
a
that
copy
point
of that.
because of okay. I'll send it to you.
All right.
The guy who I just did this private home investigation, he's like, "Boy, you're thorough." I was like, "Yeah."
That's because of weirdos.
There's reasoning behind it, yeah.
You've got to be, because I mean, like she's talking about. I mean, we have run into a couple of folks that it was just like, well, these people are just absolute psychos. I mean, they're just totally batshit crazy.
Yeah,
and
like
what are we going to do?
Like Chow says, we have to check for carbon monoxide leaks and things like that on privates because there's so many other things.
There's so many variables that can cause hallucinations or just folks to really think that they're having activity when they're not. But
yeah, see, like I tried to debunk the house that I just investigated in Southport because that house is brand new. Like, I'm not joking, it's a year old. And what ended up happening is the neighborhood committee, the homeowners association, they bush hogged an early 1800s cemetery. They didn't know it was back there. And when they did that, it disturbed all sorts of good and bad. Yeah. And basically, those spirits found their way into this house. And I tried to actively debunk everything that I was experiencing there. And it was becoming harder and harder. I mean, the EVPs that I was capturing in that house were loud and clear. There's one where I'm allowed to talk about this one because they gave me permission. I'm eventually going to put a video out, or kind of mini documentary about this place. And I was investigating, and I said, is there a woman here who was a slave? And you hear, yeah, and it's a woman's voice, loud and clear. So I mean, there's because the homeowner had told me that there was slaves buried in the area around this place, and it was just it was a lot of sadness. But there's a little bit of a negative entity in that house, and it likes to climb into bed with the homeowner.
Yeah.
We have stuff at our house quite frequently, and I can't decide if it's something actually associated with the house or if it's because of what we do, that things just find us and seek us out because they need help, and they're like passing through and say, hey, let's stop off here. These people can hear me.
Yeah, they'll talk to me. They talk to everybody.
Because we have
Sarah sent us.
We have some weird stuff. I mean, there's days that we have absolutely nothing whatsoever, and then other days, yeah, Josh just said ghost cats. We just had Josh, he just saw it. That's what we were pointing at over here. We have a black cat that runs through here every once in a while, and while you were talking to us, Ernie said, there's that black cat. It just ran up under the desk.
Yeah.
So there's some days around here, though, that we have.
So weird that he explained cats, because when we were doing a spirit box session using the SP7, it said, how did you find your way into this house? And it said, window, cat. And
wow.
There used to be a cat that would sit on the window, and we were thinking, he goes, was my daughter's cat luring these spirits into the house?
That's cool.
I was like, I don't know. That's crazy.
Hi, Leanne. She's in there as Midnight Wolf Pack. So yeah, it's funny that Chow actually said cat right after he saw it.
It just came around.
I don't know if anybody watching saw us look over there, but that's what he's like. There goes that cat, because we don't have a black cat, but we have a black cat.
Yeah. John,
I have a 1 terabyte. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive from this location with a week long of filming on it. And I have to go through like 400 gigabytes of footage off of this house. So it's going to take me a while to get a video together.
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool to see when you do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it sounds like an awesome location.
Yeah,
yeah.
We started out ghost hunters. Just plain old ghost hunters, like, a million other people. And one night we were in a cemetery and had a Bigfoot find us.
Found us. We weren't looking for it.
I was just wondering if you have had any cryptid encounters of any kind.
Yes. So long story short, we had just investigated the Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. Amazing location. Some of the most insane EVPs I've ever captured in my entire life. And that night, we're like, well, it's 4 a.m. We're not tired yet. So what do we want to do? And I'm starting looking through my little sources. I have all these like link sources with all these interesting locations that are possibly paranormal. And it comes up unidentified pet cemetery. I'm like, you had me at hello. And so I had to go check out this place. And being the curiosity that killed the cat kind of person, I'm like, we have to go check this out. So we get there and it's not there. We're like, okay, this GPS map is saying that it is here, but it's not here. And then I start shining my light into the middle of the desert, and you can see all these graves. And it goes back further than the flashlight will allow. And lo and behold, the cemetery actually goes deep into the desert for well over a mile. And we get in there, and immediately we feel like something's tracking us the entire time we're walking through there. And I said, what is the number on this gate post? And it said 8 right off the bat, no issues. So it was very intelligent. It was standing right there. I mean, it was loud and clear. And there was an 8 right on the tombstone. And not only were pets buried here, but there was also, it was buried on top of an Indian burial site in
Wow.
the middle of the desert. Not only that, too, the mob used to bury their victims alive in that same section. And
Wow.
so it had a very tough dynamic, but that's not what the craziest part was. When we were walking, all of a sudden we kept seeing red eyes in the bushes. And one of my friends on YouTube ended up screen capturing something and sending it to me, and all of our jaws just dropped. It looked like this dogman looking creature, and almost like a Wendigo. And I was like, it was literally hunting us down. Like we could hear the footsteps coming closer and closer to us. We ran so fast into the car, it wasn't even funny.
Todd saying rocks from nowhere. Yeah, we have had them throw rocks. Todd, he's in our chat over here. He was with us on one of our Squatch adventures, and he was sitting at the table. And what were we doing at the time? We were just sitting there.
Well, we were sitting. We had because we had actually found that apparently the Squatch can communicate with like REM pods and flashlight communication and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or we don't know if it was maybe a spirit communicating through that while we were looking for a Bigfoot or what. But anyway, we were sitting at a picnic table in this forest and had some paranormal equipment sitting out in the woods and trying to get something to come up and, touch the antenna and it'll light up and make a noise, trying to get some communication like that. Well, Todd's sitting at a picnic table across from us next to the cooler was on the table behind him, and a rock hit that cooler.
You could hear it coming through the trees.
You could hear it come through the trees. I mean, it didn't come it wasn't like an acorn fell down.
An
acorn, whatever you want to say. It wasn't like that because you heard it coming from, 50 yards back in the woods and came and then
bam
on that cooler.
Like it missed his ear, like he felt the wind off of it.
Yeah. And
he might pee a little bit. He might even poop too.
Yeah, he might have pooped some. I don't know. But we like I was getting at though. I mean, we started out just ghost hunters. Never thought about being being cryptid hunters or anything like that. And then after we had that encounter in that cemetery that night,
we were hooked.
We've gotten in touch with we're very good friends with a fellow by the name of Greg Yost, they call him Squatch Man, and we go out with him Bigfoot hunting every chance we get, which we haven't had a chance for a few months now.
Hasn't been a while.
And we just had some incredible experiences, and it's something that I never believed in, but my eyes were open to it. The possibility of it.
And we have seen some stuff.
Yes. And I was just wondering if you had anything. I know the Dogman thing.
Other than cryptids, I also have UFO experiences in multiple different states.
He needs to go to
Wilmington, North Carolina has some crazy UFO stuff. I've experienced these lights one time that we were sitting on the bench looking the Cape Fear River. We see these 3 lights, and I thought, okay, that's kind of weird. It's kind of out of place because the airport's back the other way. Uh-huh. And these 3 lights just keep deterring more and more sideways on the edge. And I'm like, okay, that's not a plane. And then the 2 outer ones go like up and out. They disappear at like an inhuman speed. And then the second one kind of hooks right and then does the same thing. And I was like, what in the hell did we just witness?
That's awesome.
Good night, Steven.
You have a good night,
Thank
brother.
you.
It was great having you join us. We got to stay in touch, friend.
Yeah, and Chow is asking if you have ever been to Brown Mountain down there.
No, but I've been hearing about it and I'm planning on it. So I'm definitely considering going.
We have a place near us called Gates of Hell, and it touches on everything. It's got ghosts, it's got cryptids, it's got UFOs, it's got demons,
goblins,
witches. It's got
It runs
the gamut, it never disappoints. Ever. Everybody we have taken there is like blown away by this place. It is amazing.
Next time you're through this area, let us know. We'll take you down there. So it's a cemetery out in the middle of nowhere.
Sounds good.
That has everything.
Yeah. Hi, Holly. Holly just joined us.
Wow.
Hey,
Holly. And the other one that we were looking at was something called the Devil's Tramping Ground. And it's literally a geomagnetic anomaly site here in North Carolina. And the grass does not grow in this circle. And it's just an odd spot. And it's been legend for years of having some kind of supernatural power, like almost like a vortex. And they call it the Devil's Tramping Ground. But I haven't heard anything dark about it.
Yeah, I've heard of it several times, but never knew, what it was all about or anything.
Good night, Bob. That's Bob Burnell right there.
All right. So. Good night, Bob.
I've actually investigated multiple sites. I've actually investigated multiple places that are on geomagnetic anomaly sites or on limestone or have ley some kind of ley lines. The places that have these geomagnetic anomaly sites are just absolutely like the Disneyland of the paranormal. There's like 3 of them that I've been to in California. There's one in Sedona, Arizona that I've been to. They're scattered all through the country. These weird geomagnetic vortexes of energy, and they all affect you differently too, which is weird.
Yeah. There's one near us that's a great location run by some friends of ours, Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky. It sits on the ley lines, and it's it's another location that's got everything.
It's got it all, and it's run by some great people: Night Stalkers, Paranormal. Barry Gaunt, Billy Sims, his wife Melvin Brazel. Yeah, they all do a great job running that place. And if you make it that far, the Old Stone Jail is not too far from there.
Yeah, it's right down the road.
Run by
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yeah, Bill Wilkerson. Too.
Did somebody say Kentucky trip?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Come on, we got you. We cover you for a week.
We got 4 or 5 nice locations for you besides Waverly.
Cool.
And you can stay here.
Sweet.
Yeah, we got a basement.
All right. You have me a basement.
It's haunted
too.
It's
creepy.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Exactly.
I have a really dark sense of humor, so please just bear with me.
Hey, we're right. You fit right in, brother.
Yeah, you don't know this bunch apparently. Yeah, and Josh Chow said Bobby Mackey's, and it's near here. So.
Yeah, Bobby Mackey's is just a little over an hour up the road too. So
we could make a whole big trip.
And I'm sure you've heard of Bobby Mackey's, Lenny.
Oh yes, Bobby Mackey's is on my list, and I've heard a lot of mixed stuff about Bobby. So I've been curious. I'm like, what's true and what's not true? What's true and what's not true? So
we have been there. We've been there a couple of times. We've had some. I went once. You've been twice, and he's had experiences both times that were pretty, awesome. But at the same time, when you do it as often as we do, with some of the magnitude of things we have, it's not up there on that scale. But it's definitely worth checking out, I think.
I think it's hyped a little bit more than what it should be, but it's still a good location to check out. It's something everybody should that's into the paranormal. You should at least go and experience it for yourself and draw your own conclusions.
I get to where I don't like bullies. I don't taunt. I don't like bullies. If they're acting like assholes, I call them out. That's what I do. I always call him out, and he ends up injured because of it.
Yeah. She's like, "You want to scratch somebody? Come on and scratch somebody," and then I get scratched. It's like.
So, I bring that up because we were in one of the dressing rooms in the basement at Bobby Mackey's, and we were sitting in diagonal corners from each other in one of the dressing rooms. And what I was getting over the EVP was that these women were mistreated. They were being expected, to turn tricks, and the men were taking the money. And he was not being very nice. She was trying to talk. He was talking over her. So I started giving him a good what for. And the next thing I hear, it's pitch black. Next thing I hear is a big loud bang. And Ernie say, "What the hell?" He was holding. I don't
think hell was the last word in it.
Well, I can't say exactly what you said. I guess I could. But he's holding an empty Coke can that got slapped out of his hand, and it got slapped out so hard that even though it was empty, the bottom of it dented when it hit the ground. It came up and just smacked it. I guess because I was bad-mouthing it and he wasn't keeping his woman in check. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, John said he sets that up so she doesn't get banned.
Get blamed.
Yeah.
So I don't get blamed.
Yeah. It's. I mean, that was. Then later we were up in the apartment, and you had something slapped out of your hand.
He tried to smack. I was eating a candy bar, and he tried to smack it. He didn't make it too far. He smacked the paper, but he wasn't getting my candy bar.
But no, we have had experiences at Bobby Mackey's. I'm not saying that it's not a good location. I just do feel like it's a little overhyped, especially that whole portal to hell thing in the well down there. We've had some activity down there, definitely, and our friend Sheila Brown's got some amazing photos from down there. But I don't think there's a demon trying to climb out of the hole and get everybody or anything like that.
Well, if it is, it didn't come after me.
Well, it's demons are afraid of you.
You know, it's a really cool, not really well-known place. It's in California, and it's in a little town called Bodfish, and it's called the Silver City Ghost Town. Brandon and I were actually talking about this not too long ago. Me and him, he investigated, I believe, on ghost hunters. I'm not 100% sure if he did it privately. But me and him were talking about it because day and night you capture some weird stuff, and it's not a real ghost town. They actually brought in every single building from Kern County that they were slated to be destroyed, and they bring it in and made it one ghost town. And there is just so much residual energy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it almost looks like a movie set. But they have the old
I bet them ghosts are all kinds of confused if all their stuff's being moved somewhere else.
Like, wait a minute.
What the hell happened?
We didn't have a general store next door. That was a saloon. What the hell?
Like, there was one point.
That was across the street.
Of course,
there was one point we're doing a spirit box session on at the Silver City Ghost Town in the old church, and nothing was happening. We weren't getting anything as far as EVPs went, even on the SB7. And that place is great to use the SB7 because there's no radio up there hardly. You don't. Yeah. It's like way up in the mountains in Kern County, and it's just a dead zone for like anything cellular or anything like that. So when we were recording, all of a sudden I said, "Do you have a message for us?" And it said, "From God."
Wow.
In the church. It was so loud and clear, and it's one of my favorite EVPs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Rye mentioned the Bell Witch Cave. Rye, I have been to the Bell Witch Cave multiple times. I don't know if you have been or not, and it is another one that I think is very overhyped. And quite honestly, I'm just going to say it. I don't care that we're on the network here. The guy that owns it's an asshole. He is not nice ever when you call him. I'm sorry if he's related to any of you folks, but y'all know I just say it like I see it. He's never nice when you call him. He doesn't want anybody there. I don't even know why they were running it as a business. And half the time it's closed. And I think even right now, if you look it up, they've got it listed as closed. So I don't even know why they bought it if they don't want the notoriety that goes with it. So, but when I went, I didn't really have any activity. I felt like it was overhyped and that I'm not going to say that there couldn't be something there, but the people that run it, like, it's not very big, first of all. It was only like $10. It wasn't overpriced, but they didn't really give you any stories. They just walk you in there and you look at a cave and then you leave. And then they say, "We got photos." I mean, it was not good at all. I was not impressed. I have no desire to go back.
You know, it's a really cool place. Right before I went to Waverly, my friend took me to this place called Greenback Castle near Knoxville, Tennessee. And this old guy, he's like 85 years old, and he built the whole place by hand because the spirits told him to. and it's just a weird eclectic amount of energy that's there, and it's sporadic throughout the whole castle. And yeah, I mean, it's just odd. He's captured some very weird stuff over the years. He has a photo there that looks like an angel in the doorway. I mean,
Wow.
it's odd. And
That's
it's like way up in the mountains of Tennessee.
yeah.
That sounds almost like the place that Jason Hale took me that time for a private investigation when we had to break the padlock off the door. These people wanted a private investigation, and it was theirs. It was theirs, but we had to break a padlock off the door, and there were Bible verses in all the rooms with crosses above all the doorways and dead birds in every room. That was one of those
That
times.
was before you went to the penitentiary, wasn't it?
That was when I decided that maybe private investigations weren't for me anymore. At
Or
locations.
maybe Jason shouldn't be picking locations.
I decided that Jason Hale was no longer allowed to pick the location without my guidance.
Right.
So,
Well, he's got Jeremy and Doogie to keep him straight now.
yeah. That's one of the times when I said, Jason, we're out in the middle of nowhere, no cell service, like a freaking cliff on the backside of this house. Like, I lost cell service up there. I'm like, what's going to happen? This is really not safe at all. And he said, don't worry, I have a Bible and a gun. I said, what? A Bible and a gun. I said, I feel much better.
All right. Well, John, I know you got another podcast to do here in a little bit. You want to just wrap it up by talking about how to find your projects coming up and about the Paracon?
Emma, we're getting ready to say goodbye.
Emma, you're late.
You can go to the Paranormal United Network Facebook page. There are actually two Paranormal United Network pages. There's Pun 1 and Pun 2 because we have so many streams running through the week that we had to open the second one to have the cash over the other shows that are happening. I think it's even like 3 or 4 shows a day, 7 days a week. And so you can actually go to the Paranormal United Network, which is Pun 1, and go hit the message board, or you can actually go to the FearFest page, FearFest Paracon. Let me put it in the chat here again. I think I can. Yeah, here it is. So you guys can actually click on that I just posted in the chat on Facebook here, and you should be able to.
Well, I'm a good fan. I'm already following all that. I'm even following the Fairfest thing. I bet Ernie's not. I bet you're not.
I'm pretty sure I am.
I bet he's not. Not unless I told him to.
I'm not sure. We love you and miss you too, Emma. You're going to have to join us again soon.
Absolutely. I'll definitely be joining you guys here in Kentucky in the very near future because 4 days with you guys and investigating sounds like a blast.
Yeah, we need to actually spend some time going through the building and investigating next time you're up here at Waverly. And like I said, next time you're in Kentucky, let us know, and you can shack up here, and we'll
get
go
days
hit
off
2 or 3 locations at least, and see what we can do out of it.
Yeah, Eileen says it's better than Ernie's. Right. Hey, Eileen, my font is bigger than Ernie's also on John's documentary. Look for it.
Yes. Yeah, you can actually watch the intro video. It's up on the Paranormal United Network. I'm going through almost 300 gigabytes of footage right now on Waverly, so it's going to take a while to come through it, and then I'll put it all together. So.
If you're looking for Ernie's name on there, though, get your magnifying glass out.
John, can you please change that to say lead guide Ernie Pack with assisted by Denise Pack. Real tiny font, assisted by
John. Who would you rather have to deal with in the background of harassment?
I feel like I'm being torn in 2 ways right now, so I don't know.
Be the bigger pain in your ass. that's your decision to make.
All right, John. Well, it's great hanging out
when I
with
was
you.
putting that together, it did come out with his name smaller and her name bigger. It was not intentional. It was something that the editing screen is so small. I'm not joking. Like, my editing screen is so small when I'm doing this stuff. So.
Yeah, just like my font, right, John?
Oh,
Lead says that Ernie's new title is just Denise's husband. You don't even need to put lead investigator.
oh my goodness. Like, I don't think you can see, like, my closet is half closed, half wires for all my paranormal equipment.
I get it. I totally get it.
And then
you're going to have in that closet
all
soon.
these on my guitar. This is 6 Pelican cases full of paranormal gear.
Sweet.
Well, soon
you're gonna have one of these to put in that closet here very soon.
You just have to send us an address and a size.
Yep.
I'm ready to do that. Heck yeah.
But we'll let you get off of here and get ready for your next podcast. We have Beth Allen, the Parrot Thug, that's going to be walking in our door any minute now, so we're going to have to say hey to her.
Goodbye, Rye. Goodbye, Holly, Eileen, everybody, Todd.
Everybody take care.
Sydney.
We appreciate everyone for joining us.
I do have my Waverly shirt on.
I like it. I like it. Holly says she has hers on too.
And Waverly gear, all right.
Yes. Anyway, you take care. Have a good night. Stick around here. I'm going to go ahead and end the show, and then we'll chat for just a second before we go. But everybody take care. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys.
And we'll be talking to you soon. Hopefully we'll get some more time off.
Hopefully.